Don't record it right now.
Go.
I still don't know what to say.
Start talking.
Oh, don't do that. It just feels so silly talking to a camera, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's totally an inanimate object. And here I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
Brad Pitt can do it, so you can do it.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was made for the silver screen, though. Obviously. I wasn't.
Well, what's the gold screen then?
What's the what?
Gold screen.
The gold screen?
If there's a silver one, there should be a gold one.
Oh, I see. So Brad Pitt was only silver, not gold?
Well, isn't there a gold screen?
I don't think so.
Why do they call it silver? Why is it a silver screen?
I don't know.
Where'd they come from?
That doesn't really make any sense, does it? I feel silly. What should I talk about?
Well, that's not helping. Don't you hate when people do that?
Ooh. I don't know. Never mind, turn it off now.
Nope, not until you say something interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know what to say. Give me a topic and I'll talk about it.
Okay.
One that I know about.
Okay, legalization of drugs.
Here we go. Well, I think not all drugs should be legalized, for one. But I think marijuana should be legalized because...
Because you smoke it and you're biased?
Well, no, not really, because I never smoked it my whole life, so I'm not completely biased about it. But, for one, it would be good for our economy, and it would raise a lot of money for, you know, our economy.
And you would be able to get it easier.
And yes, well, no, it would not technically be easier to get it, because if you think about it, then it would be like cigarettes, and they tax it.
But
you'd
also
have to, like, pay more for it.
But then you can also grow it yourself, the way you can like make wine in your basement.
Well, that's true.
So you could just do that without getting, you know, in trouble.
Well, true enough.
Have some plants in your garden, buy your tomato plants, and hope the teenagers don't steal it.
Actually, my ex's mom, she grew a plant, and then the deer would eat it, and the kids would always be in her backyard stealing it all the time.
Yeah.
So that would happen. But now let me think, because I've talked about this before with people, and now because there's a camera right there, I can't think of my...
See, I think all drugs should be legalized.
But if you legalize all drug, look what they're doing. Okay, for one, they're legalizing, like, they're basically legalizing, like, heroin and stuff like that by handing out free needles on the street and stuff. But what is it causing? Is it so people maybe have less AIDS and stuff, but they're still homeless. They're still on drugs. I mean, how is that
even if we somehow magically won the war on drugs and stopped all from getting it and doing it, it wouldn't solve their problems. They would still be, you know, still be in trouble. They'd still be homeless. Still be depressed. So it wouldn't solve any problems. So legalizing it, it's a matter of freedom. Like if I want to destroy my own body, that's my personal choice.
Yeah, but the thing about it though is that it's still costing money for healthcare because people are still overdosing.
Yeah.
Right? People are still overdosing and going to the doctor, going to the emergency room. People are still, you know, having...
That's a good point. I never thought about
still having, like, prolonged health problems that they need to go to the doctor for.
Your body should be like a car. Like, every time you get in an accident, your insurance premiums go up, right?
Yeah.
So if they test you and they found drugs in your system, then you have to pay more for insurance. Or you get less covered.
They should do that.
Same way, like, if you smoke cigarettes, then you're not covered as much for lung cancer,
But then that goes against our whole thing in Canada. How, you know, you should be able to have free health care if you're low income, and what are most crackheads? Well, they're low income.
But it's self-inflicted. Like if you get drunk and draw it off the bridge, the insurance won't place your car because you did that to your own car. But if someone else hits your car, they'll do it because it wasn't self-inflicted.
So basically,
with your body, like if you cut off your own hand, why should the public healthcare system pay for it when you did it to yourself?
Well, that's true. That is true, and that would make sense. So if they legalized drugs and then made those drug addicts pay higher healthcare.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, they're all getting free healthcare right now, anyways. You know.
Yeah.
Like.
But now they wouldn't get free anymore.
Well, true. But then there'd be like. But then if you think about it, say here in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver would be littered with like dead bodies, like heroin overdoses.
But it would put a lot of criminals out of business.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, and plus the drugs might be more pure because criminals wouldn't be inclined to cut it with crap to make more money, to make it go further.
That is true. That is true. So, well, and I mean, when I was studying my sociology, it was saying that like Amsterdam is one of those places that has like the lowest crime rates in all the world.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that problem. So I guess that makes sense, really, in the long run.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It should, I mean, certain, like marijuana, they make it out to be this terrible, horrible, you know, drug.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, so it affects your memory, but, I mean, in the end, it doesn't really have any long-term, like, health problems.
Yeah, well, that slows down your brain a little bit.
Yeah, but
like the Cheech and Chong.
Well, and the tar in it is actually quite bad for you.
Yeah, it's worse than cigarettes.
Yeah.
But it's not on the level of like heroin and cocaine, correct? Real drugs.
And you're less likely to catch lung cancer from smoking doobies.
Right.
Than smoking cigarettes, you know, because it's generally not. You know,
you don't do it as much,
and it's not mixed with the same things as cigarettes.
Yeah,
you know, like you
just
get cancer from cigarettes because they're filled with like
8 million stuff. But as opposed to like plain pipe tobacco would be less bad for you, I bet.
And it really would be good for the economy. I mean, think about it. We could grow like marijuana farms. You can use the hemp to make like all kinds of indestructible material.
Hemp is already legal.
It really isn't. You have to have a special license to grow it, right?
Yeah.
And then you're only allowed to grow is it the male? The male that doesn't
something like
produce?
that, the one that doesn't produce.
Yeah, the male, the one that doesn't produce the buds. That's the only one that you're actually allowed to.
Yeah, and look at like cigarette and liquor tax. Like 50% of the money you pay to buy liquor or cigarettes is tax.
Exactly.
That's 50% tax. They could do the same thing for this.
Plus, you think about it, they could probably make some kind of fuel on it to run cars and stuff.
Probably.
I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, they could do it out of grain, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, that'd be a waste.
That'd be a waste.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then the plant's not going to waste. You pick the buds, and then you use all of the rest of the plant to pick something. Well, this is not something that I am, you know.
You know nothing about that.
I don't really know. Don't know anything about it. All I know is that I don't think smoking pot is a bad thing. And you're right, by legalizing such drugs as like cocaine and heroin and stuff, that it will be mixed with less things.
Yeah.
I mean, look at cocaine is mixed with like, you know, like baby laxatives and you know, all these things. And
like, I don't think you get more people using it if you legalize it. You might even get less. I mean, part of the appeal is that it's taboo and it's bad. Like.
Yeah, and actually, if you mix it with less things, it might not be as addictive.
Yeah, the pure stuff is probably better for you.
Yeah, it doesn't have quite the same effect.
But it's like the professed like Catholic schoolgirl traditionally who like moves out of her house and becomes a whore. Like all the stuff that was taboo is something you really want to do and you really want to try.
That's true.
So if drugs are really taboo and bad, that's might be more of an incentive to try them than less. To some people, not to everyone, of course.
It could be better regulated, like so that there, like you said, there's less health problems because it's more pure, you know.
Well,
less cancer-causing agents in it.
Like back in the day, you could buy cocaine and heroin from the drugstore because they were painkillers, and it was no big deal. Same way you can get high off like painkillers now that are over the counter like codeine.
Oh yeah.
You can get high off T3s. So
or like look at people who huff, you know.
Yeah.
You can get high off pretty much anything. So by making it illegal.
They're not making Listerine illegal.
Yeah.
You can get high off it. So but it's not a big deal. If all of a sudden they did make it illegal, it would be a big deal.
Yeah.
And people would do it more.
But I guess too they were with the less, you know, drug dealing, there would be less, you know, incidents where the cops would be involved, and there are less of the taxpayers' money going into it.
Yeah, the war on drugs is like they spend more on that than in Iraq.
But a lot of it is like fabricated. I mean, if you think about it, it's probably fabricated to take people's minds off the war on Iraq. You know, they're like, oh, there's there is a huge problem with drugs, obviously, but I mean, like the U.S. have made it seem like this huge deal when they were like, killing random people, saying it's to liberate them. When
I'm gonna give your kids guns to kill his kids, and it's to save the children.
Yeah, exactly.
I should probably stop this because